Yo, this is Deontay the Bronx Bummer Wild, the WBC heavyweight champion of the world. And I'd like to give a big shout out to CJ Goodfellow, Sports TV. Bomb Squad, baby.
All right, man, let's talk about Canelo, Terence Crawford. I'll do the Canelo video later. Seemed to be universally hated in boxing. Devin Haney, a lot of people were thinking the same thing about the commentating with Chris Minix and Sergio Mora Saturday. There ain't no, this a business. It's a business. Madrimov is the DAZN fighter, matchroom fighter. It's a business. So instead of being, ain't no objectivity in boxing really. I mean, and another thing that's kind of getting overshadowed is how atrocious Sergio Mora and Chris Minix broadcast was, well, mostly Mora, on the Rayo Venezuela pit bull fight. The scorecards was terrible. The broadcast was terrible. They were sitting there, and Isaac Cruz got dominated damn near every round. And Sergio Mora was trying to justify Isaac Cruz winning that fight too. But what you got to understand, one of the reasons why Crawford and Devin Haney get hate, yes, that they black, that got something to do with it. But mostly, a lot of the hatred comes through for them trying to break the business model, trying to break through the matrix. It's kind of like that Chameleonaire video where he basically revealed how he got out his deal with Universal. And he basically said that Nelly told him that you have to do a yearly audit, and when he did the yearly audit, he found out that they owed him hundreds of thousands of dollars. And when he asked to get out his deal, they refused to let him out his deal. Okay? To get out his deal, he said, I will show every artist on Universal how to do this very audit unless y'all let me out the deal. So they let him out the deal once he said that. So same thing. They don't want Devin Haney. They don't want Devin and Terence Crawford to show other fighters how to follow the business model, how to have fluidity, how to fight on different networks. Now, everybody can't do that, and one of the reasons everybody can't do that is because you gotta be dominant. Roy Jones did it. You have to dominate the competition because these promoters will rob you. So you can't lose many rounds. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you don't have knockout power, you have to be a special talent to do so, to be able to have the fluidity to fight on different networks and basically be your own promoter and work on a fight-by-fight basis with these networks and these promoters. And what they're showing is you don't really need these promoters at all. You know, they don't do nothing. They lazy. They the first to touch the money. You know, outside when the network give it to them, they tell you what you made. It's a lot of lies. It's a lot of money being cuffed by them. Y'all be like, well, boxing suck right now, and why ain't the promoters really trying to change anything? They ain't trying to change nothing because they like it the way it is. They like the fighters in the dark. They taking advantage of these fighters financially. Then they complain about how they losing money on certain fighters. No, they get money off. So they making more money off them fighters. So it's just a business model. You know, Canelo, hey, guess what? You know, Canelo's Canelo. They fine with paying the Mexican, and they know Canelo ain't gonna teach other Mexicans how to get there because he's a selfish son of a bitch. That's just what it is. They know Haney and Crawford gonna show them how to break that business model, and they gonna show it to other dudes, you know, how to come in the game, don't need a promoter, or I had a promoter, but now I can do it on my own. So that's one of the reasons they don't like Terence Crawford, because he's breaking the system. Same thing with Devin Haney. They're breaking the business model, and that's gonna cut the promoters out. Why not be your own promoter? It ain't that hard. Eddie Hearn is smart. Eddie Hearn said, well, you know what? I'll work with y'all and show y'all the ropes. You know, Eddie Hearn like, fuck it, this is going to be the wave. I'll work with him. But, you know, you see Crawford get a lot of hate from Aram. He get a lot of hate from Eddie Hearn. He get a lot of hate from PBC indirectly, you know, or through actions. And that's the worst type of hate. Yeah, you can say it, but when you show it, that's hate. That's hate. That's the worst type of hate. So, like I continue to say, it's just that, you know, he ain't different. He just ain't gonna sit there and say yes. like the whispers. He ain't gonna sit there and just say yes. He gonna ask questions. Where this money going? Where this going? Where that's going? It's his business IQ. He ain't gonna let them fuck him over. And it's like that Bob Ross movie. You know, Bob Ross allowed them people to handle the business side of it and took advantage of him. And he died. He got sick, died. His son don't benefit from none of the Bob Ross stuff that you see out there. The Chia Pets, the art books, none of that. His son don't benefit none of that because, or his family don't benefit from none of that because he didn't have his business together. He didn't learn the business. A lot of these guys in boxing, they be in boxing for years. They be in boxing for years. And don't know how to read a contract, don't know how this, that, and the third work. None of that. You know? And be getting fucked over. So, like I continue to say, that's one of the reasons they don't like him, because they can't butt break him business wise. He not gonna let them treat him any type of way. Crawford is a real stubborn dude in that business, in that room. He's a real shrewd business operator. He gonna ask what, where, why, how. You know, and Devin Haney and Bill operate the same way. They trying to show them, like Bill was telling me, he trying to show dudes how to do this shit the right way. Like Devin was like one of the first real fighters, you know, hitting the podcast circuit. Bill said he was setting up all that. That's what a manager do. What do your manager do for you? Like UPS. Remember what could Brown do for you? Y'all got 3 or 4 managers and ain't setting up shit. Ain't no lucrative options out there. They ain't bringing no sponsorships in. They ain't bringing no bread in. So, you know, them brothers like Haney and Crawford, they got a business mind. And they don't want that to become contagious. They don't want to show other brothers how to do it. But the one thing you can bank on in the black community is that we got a real bad habit of not passing on information. And the people that's willing to pass on, the information, you know what I'm saying? The people don't listen. These people don't listen. So you can give them the sauce, but they ain't gonna want to dip in it. You know? So, you know, at the end of the day, it is what it is. You know, everybody, you know, then you got the people that don't like him over the Errol Spence fight. They wanted to see him lose versus Errol Spence, and those are mostly fans. Oh, this proves that Errol Spence isn't 100%. And no, Errol Spence just ass. I kept telling y'all that he wasn't that good. We did a whole film breakdown on Instagram. A whole film breakdown. Everything that Crawford exploited, I showed in the film breakdown. It's like I said about Madrimov. Y'all was coming in saying Madrimov was another Jeff Horn. He was a bum. Y'all just running off. Y'all watching the highlights. Y'all ain't doing the education. You ain't did the education, Sway. You ain't got the answers. Most of y'all don't even know how to break down the fight remotely. And it didn't take long to see Madrimov knew how to fucking fight. Did I know he was going to pack it in like that? No. I didn't. But, you know, that's another little thing, part of it, that a lot of these dudes, they get angry and they get mad because of Bud, what he did to Errol Spence. And that always is going to happen. And I'll do another video talking about that. That always is going to happen. That motherfucker can't fight for real, bro. He keep too much of his front, put too much weight on his front foot. He reached too much. He square up too much. You know what I'm saying? When you make the mistakes that he made, bro, there's no reason he's closed back down to 147 pounds. He make too many fucking mistakes. You can't be squaring up when you throw your left hand on a consistent basis, dude. You gonna get knocked out, bro. That motherfucker just reaching. All this weight on his front foot on the inside. He's standing straight up. He not making himself a smaller target when he get on the inside. He's standing straight up on the inside, straight up. Like, I'm surprised he lasted this long. That said a lot about the opponents that he fought, that them motherfuckers really wasn't that good. A motherfucker like Randall Bailey would have sent Cuz to the upper room fighting like he was fighting. You know, Earl, no. Earl was never gonna whoop his ass. That fight was gonna always look like the way it looked. And then y'all don't even talk about they did testing. I'ma keep saying that. Every time, one of the reasons them PBC fighters get that ass whooped is they got a lot to do with testing. They got a lot to do with testing. So a lot of that, I ain't gonna dig into that right now. But a lot of the hate that he get, it had to do with also whooping on Earl Spence. They deem Earl Spence more. PBC didn't really. These trucks are on my nerves. These pickup trucks. PBC didn't deem. You know, they deem who hot, who not. You know, they deem who hot and who not. You know, they didn't corrupted the media and all that type shit and played with dudes' mind and made y'all believe. Because you gotta understand, a lot of they fighters got passed down through HBO. So they got a lot of media hype from HBO, a lot of nostalgia and all that type of shit. So, but nonetheless, a lot of it had to do with, you know, people didn't like this Spence got his ass beat like that, and they wanted to diminish what he did versus Spence. But he looked just great against Ugas. What happened? No, if it happened at 54, the ass whooping would still be the same. Did y'all see how strong and fast Crawford was at 54? That shit would have been worse. That shit would have been worse. And ain't nobody string out that fight longer than Spence. Them PBC niggas don't care shit about belts. All of a sudden, I had to get all the belts first. They don't give a fuck about no belts. But yeah, you know, a lot of it got to do with the business. And on the fan side of it, a lot of these niggas had PBC then indoctrinated a lot of fans to believe Earl Spence was something that he wasn't. And no matter how many times these idiots see this play over and over again, whether it's Gary Russell and Lomachenko, whether it's Spence and Crawford, you know, whether it's Canelo, Charlo, Pacquiao, Thurman, if there's other motherfuckers coming to PBC to beat that ass, no matter how many, you know, fights they make, you know, and they mix it up and they do cross promotion, you know, or they fighters leave and go join the fight of Zhang or fight of Joe Joyce and get exposed. You know, no matter how much they see that, if it's Wilder and Fury, no matter how much they get exposed, you know what I'm saying, they still don't get the message. PBC is like that movie Bolt with that dog. He thought that he really was a superhero, but he just was a TV star. And when he got out into the real world and found out that he didn't have no powers, he was shocked. So that's what y'all gotta understand. This shit is just, you know, these dudes are just, they TV stars, they actors. They making a left turn so hard in Detroit. Well, I ain't even in Detroit, but in Michigan. They make a left turn so hard, bro. Even on the green light to go left. But that's all I got, man. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Next subscribe button, it is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance to get notifications. We got live word drop video. Financially, you want to support the channel, Cash App, $CJ Good 313. Venmo, CJ Good 313. PayPal in the description. Hit the link tree, find me on X, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Check out the Patreon. And then they don't lose no type of signals, bro. Like, he got a whole Porsche driving like a whole bitch. Like, get out of my way.